The boomers, we call people born after World War II. These baby boomers were, yes, looking for something small, but they did have specific things in mind when they looked at a car. And oh, by the way, nobody was making it. The car companies needed someone with vision. They needed someone who had connected with the generation and were listening to them and could come up with the formula that would really draw these people in.
When these Mustangs were introduced, there was nothing else out there on the market.
From the late 50s to the mid 60s, it was ripe for someone to deliver a package that connected with people.
These were the master marketers. Cigarette people really invented many of our modern techniques of advertising.
And I've looked at an enormous library of advertisements. I'm always very tempered in my admiration for the genius. There is, in fact, exceptional genius at play.
I mean, it's like the Borg in the old Star Trek, you know? They're constantly adapting. It's very, very hard to regulate the tobacco companies because they have so much money and they're good at what they do.
Eastwood has an ascribed status of middle class.
Under a tight security guard of state police.
The history of the baby boom, particularly when you get past the cliches, is a really fascinating, multi-level, multi-layered excursion into a fascinating moment in the history of the world. That generation, mostly in America, but in a number of places in the Western world, had an incredible time, did incredible things. We accomplished things incredibly and we screwed up incredibly. And not only were we responsible for LSD, we were also responsible for the computer revolution, which is now the most important thing in the world.
Turn on, tune in, drop out.
As far as Leary was concerned, psychotherapy didn't work very well because the therapist was in a position of authority and the patient was subject to the norms that the psychotherapist was projecting in order to conform.
He didn't like the Freudians, and he also didn't like the Skinnerian behaviorists, and he was looking for this middle ground.
My name is Timothy Leary, and I'm a philosopher and a scientist. But I should abbreviate or punctuate that by saying I'm a humanist, philosopher, scientist.
Months, people had been writing about the party of the century. How could any event live up to this in reality? And it was raining, which is, you never want to happen. There was a crowd outside the plaza, lots of paparazzi. Everyone was in position. What was going to happen? Was it going to be the night that had been written about? Well, it got a little tense because people were late. Probably because of the weather. They were lingering at these dinners. Truman got a little nervous. And one person arrived, then another, and suddenly the night exploded.